We loved having Phoebe with us and Peter last week.
Thank you. It was so fun to have them.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living. Looks like the spring weather has let people blossom elsewhere, largely this morning, but you're all welcome. My name is Moore Horton. I'm senior minister here, and I just love welcoming you into our community. We have some announcements that may be helpful to be aware of. Is there anyone joining us for the first time, Valentine or Haley? Welcome. Oh, we have another one. Okay. Well, these are dark colors. Oh, okay, wear those. Didn't know your name.
Oh, awesome.
Kyla? Oh, from Thailand. Well, Nancy coming all the way to our center from Thailand. That's wonderful. Okay. All right. And, I forgot. Ronaldo? No. Rodrigo. Okay. Anyway, all are welcome here, whether for the first time or continuing. Hopefully everyone got a pamphlet who's new that you have the introductory pamphlet. Good. Let's see. Let's join us, all of you, here in fellowship this afterwards, downstairs in the fellowship hall. It promises to be quite good. I saw some delicious food down there. There's a book sale today in the library after the service. You can sell a few if you brought them and buy a few, and proceeds go to Woodland Chapel. We have a class scheduled called Beyond Limits, Exploring the Science of Mind, to start on April 29th, which is this Tuesday. If anyone is interested, please sign up on the sheet in the library, and we will be adjusting times and places and whatever works for us. It is a CSL Centers for Spiritual Living accredited class, and it would end July 1st. There is a fee, and $20 per class, or $180 if paid at all, altogether. Next Sunday is our potluck Sunday. That's always fun. You're invited to bring a dish to share. Sign-up sheet is also in the library. A garden work party, if you'd like to get out and really help improve the grounds. The last big party was in the front, where we mowed the grass, trimmed and all that. Next one's going to be toward the back. We're going to clean up join the crew to clean up the back of the church. Let's see. Second Saturday, Community Outreach Crafting Project. Have fun brainstorming and creating small hand projects, and that are for events such as the Pride Festival, and we will have that on May 10th. The Pride Festival is in September. Child care is available during the service. There are confidential prayer request forms if you feel you'd like to ask help in prayer or just celebrate your life in prayer. We'd be happy to do that for you. Our Science of Mind magazine is available for sale. And then volunteers. If you want to help Woodland Chapel, there are many volunteer sign-up sheets in the library. Just identify yourself. We'd love to involve you. Are there any other announcements anyone's aware of that need to be made this morning? No? Okay. I think it's time that we should sing. How about we'll stand up and sing a song? What are we going to sing this morning, Ari?
Well, we're going to sing a song that many of you probably have heard Louis Armstrong sing many a times. What a Wonderful World. Would you please stand and sing along with me?
Trees of green, red roses too, I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, What a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you. Very nice. This is called To Love, Serve, and Remember by John Aston. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you come? To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you come? To love, serve, and remember. 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 To love, serve, and remember.
Good morning. Please join me as I turn within. As I turn within, not to cast out the world around me, but to go deeper, deeper into that place that knows, absolutely knows the truth. Whatever the appearances may be, there is one power, one magnificent power moving through me, in me, as me. And as I know this to be true of myself, I know this to be true of each of you here. Each person is a sanctuary, and out into the world is an instrument of God, their higher power, the infinite, the divine. We've come here to love, to serve, and to remember who we are in this world. Out picturing the magnificence of the power. And as I speak my word today for this service, for this gathering of like-minded people, for those who've joined us here in the sanctuary or those who are out on the magic of the internet, we've been called by divine appointment to embody the truth and act as if the truth is true, to be instruments for good. And this service unfolds perfectly as I know it is meant to be. Each person who's come to serve or be served is here to do just exactly that. I'm grateful for this place where we can gather, for the like-minded people around me, for the love and the beauty and the divinity in this room. Gratitude fills my heart. Gratitude reminds me to look upon it as the meaning of my life. So with thankfulness and gratitude in my heart, I release this prayer into the law, knowing it is done as spoken, but through grace so much more. And please join me in saying, and so it is. Now we have a group affirmation in your program. If you would join me in saying, just as the mythical bird, the phoenix, rises from the ashes, so can my spiritual practice lift my body, my mind, my heart, and my soul. And so it is.
Jim and I will now come forward and do the reading for today. Jim, welcome.
I fall backwards, sorry. Thank you. Good morning. The title of today's reading is Forgive Yourself, Renewal, and Rebirth. Eleanor Brown states, God grant me the serenity to stop beating myself up for not doing things perfectly, the courage to forgive myself because I'm working on doing better, and the wisdom to know you love me just the way I am. Ernest Holmes further states, turning from the errors of the past and no longer carry with us the sorrows and mistakes of yesterday, we may enter into a new experience. Once I was my own worst enemy, berating myself for things I've done or left undone, said or left unsaid. I held on to my sadness and shame as if they were life preservers in the ocean of mistakes. If you join me in being a harsh self-critic, or if you ever made a life-altering mistake that you have difficulty forgiving yourself for, here's what I've learned. Holding yourself hostage for actions of the past does not serve you. It won't right any wrongs, even any scores, or facilitate any new growth. It dims the light of self-love, self-esteem, and self-confidence. Negative self-talk is not humility. It is a destructive force that robs us of our inner peace. Self-forgiveness is merely the acceptance of our imperfections and an invitation to once again align with divine love. It's a process and practice that bring renewal and rebirth. It's a chance to recognize our innate goodness and begin again. When we forgive ourselves and release regrets, we find the freedom to go forward and live the lessons we learned, pursuing our passions with newfound peace and an open heart. Practice a little love directed at you. We all make mistakes, and we all do the best we can. Be aware of negative self-talk. Notice the harmful dialogue and turn down the volume. Speak to yourself with the most tender kindness. Forgive yourself. Replace regrets with loving encouragement. And today's is bonus information. I release regrets and forgive myself for past mistakes. I honor the lessons I learned and the person I become through my experiences. Thank you.
All right, well, Rev Don requested this song, and it's been a delight to sing it this week. This is called Amazing Things by Michael Gott. Excuse me, Reverend Michael Gott. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every step you take, you bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Will you sing this part with me? Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. All the places you will go and the people you will know. Worry when, where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay here in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing,
I will do amazing things this time. Amazing, amazing. I will do amazing things. One more time. Amazing, amazing. I will do amazing things. You will do amazing things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ari. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And we're going to have an amazing talk this morning. Our very own Reverend Don Kerr, who's probably done more service in this church than practically anybody has, always with an open and willing heart. We're just so glad to have Reverend Don with us again this morning to serve us and to speak to us and inspire us. Welcome, Don.
Oh, thank you, Reverend. So how do you live up to that, right? My goodness, amazing things happen, though. Amazing things happen. So miracles we expect because we know they're just everyday life. Everyday life. Thank you, Ari. I love that song. I always have. You know, I like the idea of the Easter spirit. You know, we still... didn't we have a great time last Sunday? What do you think about it? If you were here, Red Moore gave us a great talk, a message. The flowers, the Easter eggs, and did you all get candy kisses? I remember I got a half a dozen candy kisses. We had a baby visiting us. Oh, Ari, your baby Phoebe, she's just so beautiful. Yeah. You're not proud, I know. Okay. I still feel the spirit of Easter still coming on. You know. This joy that's in this room. In fact, I've asked our traveling reporter, we have a traveling reporter, an official traveling reporter for Woodland Chapel. Her name is Shannon Preem. I felt it'd be great if she could share with us a special Easter-inspired, humorous story before we get into today's message.
Thank you for sharing that it was humorous in case they would forget to laugh.
Okay.
Actually, Don wanted me to share this. We couldn't have shared it last weekend because it didn't happen until Easter.
That's right.
So, I mean, it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
So this little story is kind of like the proverbial three guys going to a bar thing, but it's much more spiritual. So 3 people, sadly, they died on Easter Sunday. That was last Sunday. And they were waiting at the gates of heaven. Sadly, all had died at the same time. It was one big car crash, I think. So when they met St. Peter, he had a special test for them because of that holiday. Before entering, they needed to explain to him the meaning of Easter. What is Easter? What does it mean to you? So the first gentleman was very eager. He started to describe this holiday by saying... Every year we honor Easter by roasting a turkey and giving thanks to Jesus. And St. Peter interrupted, no, you're on the wrong track. I'm going to stop you there. Second man, okay, I think, why don't you share what you think Easter means to you? Well, I'm pretty sure we honor Christ at Easter with many gifts, a special tree with lights, and where angels sing. And okay, St. Peter interrupts him again. He says, I'm really sorry. Surely, the third man, you can help us understand the meaning of Easter so that I may let you into heaven. So he says, yes, I can. Last man exclaims, you see, Pontius Pilate ordered the execution of Jesus on the Christ through crucifixion, along with 2 other thieves. They were known as a good thief who repented and a bad one who wouldn't. That day was known as Good Friday. Then on the 3rd day, an angel rolled away the stone, and just as he was beginning to finish his story, St. Peter said, oh, glory, hallelujah, someone knows the meaning of Easter. Please, sir, continue so that all of us may understand the meaning of Easter, and that if you can do this, you will all be led into heaven. So he says, oh, okay, So on the third day, like I said, the angel rolls away the stone from the tomb. And then, if Jesus sees his shadow, there are another 6 weeks of Easter. I swear, that's okay. That is your humorous post-Easter story from the
Well, that
roving
got some
reporter, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon. I'm glad you waited till now to tell that story.
Well, it didn't happen till
Yeah, we understand. Okay. Hallelujah, huh? Hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, today we're going to go past this. We're going to go into what is called embracing the power of regenerativity. How many of us here can remember ever hearing or reading the word regenerativity before today? I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't remember coming across it before I was asked to share the message today about embracing the power of regenerativity. So the power to generate and asking us to embrace that power. Well, I like the word embrace. I dig that word. It reminds me of a kiss and a hug. And it reminds me of holding something close and dear to me. The word embrace, I think, is personal and expresses an acknowledging and accepting that kind of a direction. And I think the word power speaks for itself. Just saying the word power, I can feel it. I can just feel it weaving strength and purpose of something close, maybe useful. Power endows a word like, I think, regenerativity to be active and also needing some definition. Would anyone want to help me with that? Or shall I go on? Here's what I found out. Here's what I came up with. Regenerate, the word regenerate, can mean to grow again, to be, to re-be again, to redo, not to replace, bring in something to replace what was or is, but to regenerate what already was. Again, to do again. I'll take this for an example. You guys probably know all this stuff. You know, certain lizards, reptiles, frogs, alligators, they all have this capability to regenerate a tail, even a limb, a full limb or a hand, arm, excuse me, to continue to survive a predator attack. As another example that I think is even better for me, how medical science is working on the idea of transforming the cells into replacement parts for damaged organs in the human body. It's a whole new age of regenerative medicine going on, you know. I like that. But I like best, I guess, I'm an old farm boy. I grew up on ranches and farms. The way farmers in certain areas are finding out firsthand the regenerative powers of fire on cropland. Whoa. After a harvest, of course. And here in the Willamette Valley, you probably all have experienced this. The grass seed farming widely uses that practice after harvest in the fall of the year. Gets a little smoky in the valley here sometimes, does it not, if you've had that experience? The farmers, they just methodically have this idea that if you burn the harvested stubble field, you sanitize the ground. Now, they found out that's a fact because it kills the grass diseases that the ryegrass is very susceptible to. So it regenerates the soil. Now, historians claim that it's a historical fact that the native tribes use fire to set on purpose right here. Seasonally throughout this whole area, there were oak groves growing here. This is the Oak Grove Valley, so to speak, to burn the grasses and the underbrush, so in order to set a regenerative process in motion for a healthier land. You know, the camas, is that what it is that comes up? They're bulbs underground. Fire doesn't hurt them, but it gives them then room to sprout and grow. And they were food, of course, for Native Americans. Well, that's all very good. Today's message is supposed to speak to the regenerative power that we can use to cultivate continuous growth and renewal in our lives. Us. I'm going to talk about us a little bit. Today's message. You know, environmental sustainability teaches us the importance of preserving and nurturing the Earth's resources, because what does that do? It ensures that future generations can not just survive, but thrive. And so, similarly, I like that word too, personal sustainability involves caring for our physical and our emotional and our spiritual well-being. Well-being. We're learning that we should always try, we really should always try for a personal well-being lifestyle. Make it our lifestyle. Be a well-beer. Stay alert now. The world's had enough alerts, we know, but stay alert on that. Once upon... Sorry about that. To fill all the aspects of ourselves, not just pieces and here, there, and yon, but all the aspects that we live by that give us growth, continual growth, and fulfillment. All the aspects. Now, I say fulfillment, not finished, not done, fulfilled. It's being suggested in all this literature that I've read, more and more, that we, us, must or should embrace this term, regenerativity, as a profound spiritual principle. Principle. You know, do we know what principle means? How we teach it here? I like to call principle a foundational truth. It holds the way we live as being, as our whole being. Everything we do, the principle of being you, always impacting and supporting the truth of our being. I don't know, you may have other ideas. That's what religious science looks into, that approach. You know, a principle in this manner with regenerative growth stands for something to refresh, to recreate, or not just for environmental sustainability. Now let's go past that. But seeing it and using it for creating and support for a continuous cycle of renewal and our growth as a personal lifestyle. Make it a lifestyle. I did a lot of reading back on that. To embrace the power of regenerativity, I sometimes want to just stop right there. Regenerativity. It's really a unique way to see challenges, problems, barriers as opportunities, not roadblocks. Just it's the perspective for just new beginnings, and then learning how to integrate sustainable personal development practices in our own daily routines. Use our daily routines for that. Fostering this, I call it a mindset. Setting your mind to do a mindset of just regenerativity that helps us transform every obstacle. I know you're following me on every word here. Every obstacle into a chance for growth, for sustaining and evolving. We don't stand still. We think we're stuck someplace sometime. I'm just stuck in my life. No, you're not. You're in a universe that's on the move, and we're with it. It's always giving us this energy. You see, when somebody says the light of God, we do this here, we say the light of God surrounds us. Well, what does that mean? Well, the light of God is the energy that is lighted with purpose. It's rich in intelligence. It's intelligent energy becoming me and you and everything else that we know that exists. I'm suggesting that we take this motto that we have. You know, we have a motto here. Anybody want to just remember what that says? Change your thinking. Change your mind. Change your life. You've changed your thinking and you've changed your mind when you change your life. Well, the thing is, I think maybe regenerate its meaning into a real principle that can contribute to regenerating for the renewal of just about everything in our lives. Not just take a thing and just say, I changed my thinking on that, I'm going to change that in my life. I'm going to change my life to always be ready for new growth, always to be ready for change. Now, I want to read you a story about. I was talking to my cousin just last night, and I was telling him about this idea of regeneration, and he and she both like catching our thing on the internet. They live in California. Well, he asked me if I remembered Crazy Hank. Crazy Hank. It really came all flooded me. I want to tell you about a man I knew for years, growing up and into my adult years. He was a friend of my grandfather. Henry, my grandfather called him. The rest of us who knew him called him Hank. Crazy Hank. He was the most full of the stories, but he was full of opinions, and he was full of he was full of baloney, but he was also, he had opinions, political opinions. We don't discuss that here. This pulpit stands before you, and we come here as ministers and practitioners and so on, and we talk about what we really see as the truth about life. Namaste. When we say namaste, you know what that means. The divine in me sees the truth, the divine in you. Now, this guy, he was always saying his opinion, strong opinions, that's what he had, strong opinions. I won't go that far. He was always saying, it's called the principle of the thing. Just like, I remember that now, as he brought it up, my cousin. He was always on guard. Now, he was always first and foremost. Now, as a past minister, he had been in preaching with my grandfather. He was on guard against the adversary. You know what the adversary is? Satan. But as I look back, I can see that he was a product of all the life experiences that he had to live through those years. He was young and into his elder years until he made his transition. Story after story. He was deeply connected to this America. He was deeply connected to politically. He was against politicians, or was he ever? He was more than a Will Rogers. If you know who, was that his name, Will Rogers? I think it was. You're probably too young to remember a Will Rogers, but there was a guy who really gave politicians a rough time, and when you talked about them. Anyhow, this guy used to, how they ran the country, wow. He used to stay glued to the radio at latest news, read the newspaper front to back, with all the latest political activities, wanted to discuss them with everybody, all the while cursing and condemning politicians. He had this interesting take on problems, and I'm telling you this for a reason, of course. He believed that politicians were all mostly lacking common sense, as he would call it, and problems of the world left to their making, their tinkering, he called it, made a mess that good people had to clean up. And he used to speak at my grandfather's church once in a while because he was a preacher and they got along. My grandfather would just hold his breath waiting for Henry to drop his next controversial opinion into the morning. Now, Crazy Hank, yeah, I'm going to call him that, he preached that in politics, one administration comes in. Now, after I heard this, we were talking about back and forth. I said, wow, this guy made some sense, didn't he? Well, anyhow, one administration comes in and spotlights all the problems that were of the other administration, of the opposing administration. And then they use their motives and the perspectives that they claim would bring justice and equity to fix the problem. And, of course, when another administration got in power, they would spotlight all the problems the previous administration was responsible for and use their power to implement their fixes. Hank called it tinkering, and always he continued what he called the blame game, the blame game, the blame game, always continuing the blame game. Well, he did have something that made me think on now as a possible regenerative step here. If only we all could have this willingness to pause before we speak, before we make decisions, etc., whatever it may be, even take a step back from what may appear in our eyes as a problem or wrong, whatever, and allow some smoke to clear, tempers to cool. I'm copying my cousin's words here. I thought he was doing good here. Stop the finger pointing, to cease, to stop it, and truly, truly, and this is his words, I think, truly, truly give it a rest. I just want to close the story out about Hank and just tell you briefly his life experiential story. Help me understand why he was so dang cranky, so set in what he called these principles in the politics. He served in World War I, and his two sons went to war in World War II. One came home blinded, the other had one leg gone. Both found successful careers in civilian life. He had nephews who served and died in Korea, 2 of them. He had a grandson who's still MIA in Vietnam, missing in action. His body was never found. So he had feelings, and he had strong beliefs. And I can now understand, God bless Crazy Hank. He had his reasons. But a regenerative approach to life was not his to embrace at the moment. He'd never heard of that type of thing. So today, we're going to try to finish up with some of the regenerativity. Now, I hope I didn't get too far afield by that story, but it impressed me so much when we started talking, my cousin and I, how a memory can come back and then just float into your life and just say, yeah, it's the right time. It's the right time to acknowledge this, right time. Okay, so how changing our thinking can make a positive contribution to embracing the idea for the power of regenerativity. It has to do with something called a word called rest. There's a informational packages sent to we ministers giving us ideas on what to talk about if we decide to go into the subject matter of that day they suggest, and the day they were suggesting this regenerativity. Well, I read their whole thing here, and it just made sense to me. The information in the outline made a claim that we use the word rest in an ill-conceived way, many times unconsciously. And this all refers to the regeneration factor here. How often do we hear people say, I could use more sleep, or I need a nap, and then go on with, but I just don't have time right now. I got too much on my plate right now to take a break. Well, I want to tell you something. I stand before you here guilty of that. When I read the words that said this in the flyers they gave me, they said rest is a tainted word. It has been weakened from being a power word to being a word of weakness. For starters, right off the bat, we have a phrase that we use universally in the human kingdom, typically at a memorial or funeral services, laid to rest. Rest in peace. It's unconsciously, it has a finality purpose. It has nothing to do with resting to regenerate. And as we discover after thinking about it, the word used in unconscious habitual ways carries an energy that does hold underlying bites of accumulative toxicity. We don't give it a second thought, talking that way. That it holds an unspoken sublime message that rest is a weakness, even with our areas of dedication to freedom and equality that we the goals that we carry like banners. We believe in a freedom who cannot rest. Whatever we do is we talk about, I cannot rest till I get this done. Or a promise that says, I will not get rest till I get this done. It's engraved in us sometimes. The feeling and the committed and the dedicated in saying that this tireless work for freedom or whatever it may be, whatever passion we have, on a deeper level, is this true? It says it reinforces, think about it, the subliminal message that we can find sometimes even in our children's stories. And it went on to say, get this, we all know what happens in the race of the tortoise and the hare. I had to think on that. Yeah. Well, they said, if you rest, you lose. No rest for the weary. I do remember a song of the 90s that came out that I used to go around singing. I gotta keep going on. I can't lay down. I remember just singing that and thinking that's a pretty melody. Gotta go where the lonely go. This, of course, consciously glorifies the going on and on and on. And we can ask, so what's so negative about all that, though? What's wrong with staying with something till it gets done? Committed, dedicated, in our tireless pursuit of going on. Do I not say to my kids all the time, keep on keeping on? Absolutely. Well, according to this information, it keeps the windows and the doors shut, locked to the invitation for us to rest and relax, renewing and refreshing. Regenerating our body, our mind, and soul, attuned, reattuned, all working in divine right order. Oh, man, well, here's a point where I think this information means to give us. I want to put it from my own understanding. If we are continually unaware of the ways we create and weirdly celebrate a kind of martyrdom, that's the strong word. Yes, it can become a sort of a martyrdom culture, and it whispers in our ear, if you rest, you lose. You're needed to do, and to do, and to do, and to do. A culture where we have to be on guard constantly, or in the fight constantly, always ready constantly, the doer, being the doer constantly, we run the risk, God, everybody knows this, I just forgot it, of burning out. We just run the risk of burning out. I've had it. I'm done. Creating unsustainable lifestyles and damaging our relationship and our life and the life to live and practice what we believe. You know, some of these things make me have to go deep to think just exactly what are they trying to tell me in this information. Because I've never thought about burning out. It doesn't occur to me to burn out. I may drink too much water, have to hit the bathroom or something at night. Who knows about that? But regenerativity. Embracing the power of regenerativity just perhaps holds for us an opportunity to be used as a spiritual principle that we can explore, we can dig into and use the continuous cycle of this, what happens in natural nature in renewal and growth that contributes to all the human evolving forward to be able to see every ending as a new beginning. Every ending as a new beginning. There's going to be times when we may think everything's done, everything's finished, and that will be a new beginning. We can engage this process by focusing on how the natural world constantly shows us that periods of rest and lying fallow are not losing anything of value to quality of living. Give it a rest. The most obvious example of regenerativity is the way our Earth and solar system move through the seasons. We got summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, and fall again, winter, spring, and summer. Fall again. We have the cycles for a reason. Every season has a reason. Everything in our life that makes us come to a point of whatever has its reasons. The wise farmer uses rotation of crops as well as fire and other elements to bring about the harvest time, all the while using the power of regenerativity to refresh, to renew, and recreate the land. It's a great, great example. The precious soil that holds and nurtures the seeds, and we can go on, that germinates and repeats the fruits of the land. But we can learn from the results that are realized when we implement environmental sustainability and take care and nurture our Earth's resources. That's because we will know we are making our future continue so others can thrive and survive. But we learn, here's how we can learn. We learn that knowledge to develop a holistic approach for ourselves of developing habits and practices that nurture our inner selves, just like we care for the planet, is where we need to take this. I feel I'm learning, I hope I'm learning, I'm shifting, learning the value of what is called, among other caregivers that I have met, they call it the importance of self-care, and maybe something woven into that self-care that fosters and maybe awakens the value of spiritually realizing that regenerativity invites us to embrace, and that's the good word, the cycles of life, and use some grace and optimism. I love what Jim's reading was all about. Forgive yourself. We always talk about forgiving others, okay? And this phase of understanding holds the potential for real transformation. I want to read a paragraph from a discussion point, a point of view out of these papers that I think for me, it made an impression. It's about the transforming of our life with some suggestions. Out of a profound biblical quote from Romans, it says this: "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." God, that's not new to me. This serves as a powerful reminder of the essential role that mental and spiritual renewal plays in the personal transformation of us. By actively renewing our minds, we cultivate a mindset. We talked about a mindset, setting of the mind that's open to change. It's adaptable to new circumstances. Sounds good to me. And receptive to growth. This transformation is not just about changing our thoughts, and our thinking, but it's about fundamentally reshaping our perceptions, our attitudes, and responses to life's challenges. So through practices such as, and you've heard this so many times from this pulpit here, mindfulness, and meditation. We all hear about this. Continuous learning classes and so on. Positive affirmations that we can use. I've told you this before, when I take my walks in the morning, my favorite time is I walk every step as the light of God surrounds me, lighting my way, giving me on and on and on. So I'm pounding into my body the transformative power of speaking my word, knowing that I'm heard. Mindfully, consciously, lovingly replacing all the limiting beliefs and the negativity that thought patterns develop over time, and then with thoughts that empower and uplift us. I think we sometimes affirm for us to be nurtured and sustained. And I'm going to close here. Take a look again at the last paragraph that Jim Nye read in his morning's reading, and it read like this: "Practicing a little love directed at you. We'll all believe that we make mistakes, and mostly we do the best we can. Be aware of negative self-talk. Notice the harmful dialogue and turn down the volume. Speak to yourself with the most tender kindness. Forgive yourself. Replace regrets and with loving encouragement, and begin again. Begin again." Those are my words. The ending is the new beginning. It's that simple. So, I'm going to stop right there, and we're going to have a beautiful song to back this up. Thank you. Namaste.
This is a song by Reverend Dr. Melissa Philippe, who is one of my favorite people to listen to sing and witness sing. I met her a number of years ago. She's a New Thought minister with her partner. Anyway, this is another song that's going to be very repetitive, and please, please sing with me if you feel inspired. I'm a new person. The truth has been revealed. A new person. My history's been healed. I've seen the truth that can set me free. More room for light and more love in me, 'cause I'm a new person. Now that this is through, I'm new. I'm a new person. The truth has been revealed. A new person. This history's been healed. I've seen the truth. It has set me free. More room for light and more love in me, 'cause I'm a new person. Now that this is through, I'm new. I'm a new person. The truth has been revealed. A new person. This history's been healed. I've seen the truth, and it has set me free. More room for light and more love in me, 'cause I'm a new person. Now that this is through, I'm new. Now that this is through, I'm new. Thank you.
Oh, I feel all renewed this morning. Yeah, it's wonderful. Every time we come together, we have the opportunity to express ourselves in what we say and what we do and what we think, of course, and the beliefs we share. And part of that sharing is to give of our material substance, that would be money, among other things, to further the renewal of this church and this wonderful center for spiritual living. So please join me in saying the offertory affirmation, which is in your program. It starts, divine love moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for the abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for the abundance in my life.
I know that nothing quite renews so much as the thanksgiving, being grateful for everything that enters our life, for those that we might consider comfortable and wonderful and joyful, and those that might seem sad or hard or difficult. Still, life presents itself always from the point of the now moment I accept in my heart, and it allows me to respond to life, to regenerate life, to renew my being. As you understand this with me, please join me in saying, and so it is. Would you like to stand now, and we can say our prayer of protection? If you're new here, it is in the program. It's the very last thing on the page. It starts with the words, the light. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I invite you to join hands and come to the aisle, and we'll sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth.